All right. Well, welcome everyone. Okay, let's get started. So we are here to learn about Quizizz.com. Now, Quizizz.com, hands up if you play Kahoot with your students. Hands up. What am I doing? Yeah, so I'm sure you could put your virtual hands up. I see Shannon. Yeah, so Kahoot, very popular. If you like Kahoot, I think you're going to love Quizizz.com because it does the live games, but it also has a whole bunch of wonderful additional features. There are homework games that can be assigned. There are just straight up practice mode where students can just practice and practice as many times as they want with that practice link. You can, as a teacher, can see reports on how many times they've practiced. They can see how they've improved. They turn on that practice mode, you can take a quiz and it can turn it into flashcards automatically. Really nice. You can, if you want to, create classrooms of students. And I know I marketed this session as how it works well with Google Classroom. There's a way that it'll pull in all of your Google Classroom rosters, and then you can see how all your students are doing on these different things. It might give you an idea of what to do for some reteaching. I wouldn't keep a grade book in Quizizz if I were you, but you're just using it for that formative purpose, right? And also, forget the assessment piece. Just the whole act of a student trying to recall something, we know through cognitive science that this works to, this is very effective way to deepen learning. It's much more effective than just rereading something or highlighting something. But trying to recall something really goes a long way to deepen that learning and understanding. And it's not just about memorization, although memorization's gotten a really bad rap over the years. It works for facts, but it also works for deep concepts, or it works for skills as well, trying to recall, just trying to retrieve. They call it retrieval practice. If you want a great book to read, I'm not selling this, but Powerful Teaching. It's a great book. And if you want a great website to go to for some free stuff by those same authors, retrievalpractice.org. I'm pretty sure it's .org. So if you want to learn more about how this trying to recall something actually helps you learn, and there's some other research proven strategies in there, here's a link. Lots of free stuff. These people wrote that. See, they wrote that book. But this stuff is all free on this website. So don't feel like you need to buy anything. So it's a wonderful, wonderful website. Anyways, back to Quizizz.com. Let's get started. So I'm going to just encourage you to sign up if you haven't already. And if you choose sign up, you can choose your division Google account, which is really easy. You don't have to, but it is a very easy way instead of having to remember those additional accounts all the time. Now, I am already signed up, so I'm just going to hit and sign in. Let me just go back to Quizizz.com. So I'm going to go log in, and I'm just going to log in with Google. It'll bring up your account. Is it free? Yes, it is. I don't know why, to be honest with you, but it is free. There's no even, I haven't even seen a premium version. You know what I mean? Sometimes they give you a little bit for free, but then there's premium. I'm not seeing any ads on here. I don't know how they keep it for free, to be quite honest with you. I should look into that because is anything ever really free? I don't know. It does seem very amazing for free. So let's find some quizzes here. Just like Kahoot, you have this whole bank of thousands and thousands and thousands of free quizzes that you can either make copies of, you can make adjustments to, you can create your own from scratch. So just to kind of get a flavor of what this is, I'm going to share with you a quiz. So I have a 6-question movie trivia quiz. Okay, this is not super academic. We'll try this live. I don't know how this is going to work, but let's give it a shot. For those of you who want to play, I'm going to host a game here. We'll go classic. All right, so we're going to, how else can I share this here? I'm just going to copy a join link for this live game and paste it. So if you're doing some live instruction with students, you know what? That didn't really, let me try this again. https:// now that. Let's see if that works. Okay, so if you'd like to try this game, I'm going gonna hit no players are in the game yet. So if anybody wants to try this one, alternatively, you can go to join my quiz. Hey, there we go. Joinmyquiz.com and type in that code. But it's nice that they do give you a link there. I went or share via, and I was able to copy a link. Now, if you do have a Google Classroom or Microsoft Team, Schoology Canvas, Remind, you can share that link in numerous ways. Now, if you're from any CBE people in the house, if you use D2L Brightspace, even though I know you have Google Classroom now, if you use D2L Brightspace, just click copy the link. Game code, please. Sorry about that. I'll get out of the way. 774028. So what you'll see here when I hit start for the live game, it's a little bit different from Kahoot, because in Kahoot, you'll see the questions show up on the screen, and then the answers are on your device. This is kind of nice in this remote learning environment, because what Quizizz.com, it shows both the questions and the answers on your device. And I want to say you can kind of go at your own pace, which I also kind of like. So I've got 26 people here. Is anybody still trying to get in? You know, don't worry about it if you're not in. If you just kind of want to see how it works, just from a distance, you'll see what I see up on the screen here. But if you want to see what the students would see, give this a shot. Does anybody look for that link in the text chat again? Or you can hit joinmyquiz.com and enter that code. All right, we're kind of holding steady at 35 people here. So I'm thinking the people who wanted to join have joined. So I'm gonna hit start, okay? And there's probably 2 or 3 people in the background. Wait, I'm entering it in my thing. I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna hit start. So it'll be really interesting to see if we're all spread apart Alberta, if this is gonna work. So here's the deal. I'm gonna just mute that for now. We're seeing what you see on your teacher screen is the leaderboard, and there's a question. So this is for the live game. Now, when it comes to practice games, for those people who aren't playing right now, I'll just editorialize a little bit. For the homework game or the practice game, who cares about a leaderboard, right? If we want kids to just practice, the live game, it's kind of fun, right? You want to see that leaderboard, it can be fun. But there are lots of features that we can turn off for things like the homework game or the practice game. Do we really need a timer? Do we really need to show a leaderboard? Does the music drive people crazy? There are things we can turn off, okay? I'll show you lots of other features too in those other games, but this is the live version. There are 6 questions. I've tried to make it an abbreviated version. And so you can see that leaderboard come in there. And I could go drill down to the question. Let's see. Yeah, so this is interesting. As a teacher now, I can see how many people have got these questions right or wrong. So I could see, well, you know, maybe I need to reteach a little bit from Star Wars because even though 18 people got it right, 10 people got it incorrect, etc. Say, ooh, all right, some of these are tricky. So others, you can see a lot of people have gotten it right. So this is nice data for me as a teacher, even if I want to do a live game, okay? And we're seeing sort of the class accuracy and etc. So we could go theoretically back to that leaderboard. A lot of people are done. Some people are still just finishing up here. Do you like the fact that you can have people go at their own pace, or do you like it where everybody's together in Kahoot? So think about that. If you feel like giving some feedback in the chat, go for it. We're almost done here. So hopefully people will finish this up really quickly here, but I'm going to end this game shortly, okay, just for purposes of time. Yeah, I do kind of agree with you, Etienne, about that go your own pace. Amber, I agree. Yeah, but you know, I don't know. You guys are in the class with kids all the time. And so this is just the live game. This is the tip of the iceberg. There's so many Captain American. Oh no, I didn't make these questions. I just grabbed one that was already done. Oh, your Star Wars. Oh yeah, fix your mistake. Yeah, they have these features called redemption questions. You can turn that on or off, but I kind of like that you can fix your own mistakes. That's a good point in there. So we're almost done. I'm gonna hit end game here. I think pretty much everybody who wants to and I can hit end game. End game. Okay. I think I ended the part where it showed who won, so I do apologize. If let's see if do I get a report for a live game? Yes, I do. So I could see a report for that live game. There's a report section in here, and it shows me how different people did. So that is another option. So what I did was I went in to find a quiz, and you can do it not live too. Absolutely. And in fact, most of the reason I love Quizizz.com is because of features that are not part of the live game. But I thought I would. I wanted to just show you the live game first, just so you kind of got a comparison between the live and the not live. So I'm going to now, I'll show you how I got that. I just went to movie trivia. And you'll see there's a whole bunch of these free games. And as I mouse over each one, it's showing me all the different questions. At any point, I can just hit play. Okay, I can just choose it as it is. I like this Christmas Disney movie trivia, play. And then it gives me that play live or assign homework. I can even do a solo game. But now I can, as I'm going through these, I want to save some of these collections. If I want to save some of these selections in my own, I can keep collections of different things organized by, can you preview the questions first? Yeah, absolutely. So if we go into one of these quizzes now, I can see all the questions. Okay, see all the questions as a teacher. Do I want to save this collection as it is in my own collections, or do I want to hit edit? If I choose edit, it's now duplicating it. I have a copy of it now. This is my copy. Now I can make any changes I want. I can delete questions. I can change answers. I can add more things to it. And then when I'm ready, it can be done. I'll just finish quiz. Now it's showing up in my quizzes, okay? So you can see it in there. So that is a really easy way to find stuff that's already done. Now, if I want to, let's take that same movie trivia game with 6 questions. Let's just go into it for a second here. And I want to show you how you can share this. Actually, before I do that, why don't we go into, if I want to create my own quiz, I can start from scratch, sample trivia. I'm going to hit next. Now, obviously, I would choose a subject area. I'm only saying sample trivia just because it's, there are different types of, look at this, there's checkbox, there's all sorts of multiple choice, fill in the blank. So you can start to create your own questions very easily. What is the best flavor of ice cream? Because we all know there's only one right answer to that. And it's not vanilla. Sorry, vanilla people. Chocolate. Yep, that's the correct one. Strawberry. Tiger. Any Tiger fans in the house? Oh, I shouldn't say Tiger, right? Anybody watching the Netflix Tiger King? That's pretty crazy, hey? So I'm gonna hit save. All right, now I wanna show you the reason I came in here to show you how to create it from scratch is this. I've got a question, I've got a mix of questions, but I wanna show you a really awesome feature here called teleport. Teleport, this is awesome. So this is when I wanna create my own quiz, but I wanna borrow some questions from other quizzes. You go teleport, and then what if I wanted to look up, oh, here's a music trivia. Why don't I go to, all right, with which US rapper did Ed Sheeran provide guest vocals? for January 2018. So check it out. Do you see the add button as I'm doing this? I'm mousing over these individual quizzes, individual questions. At any point I want to hit add, guess what? It's now popping it over into my quiz that I'm creating. So that's the teleport feature. So I could do, whoops, teleport. I could do a mix of TV trivia. Okay, so you can be pulling from different topic areas that you're teaching with your students, find a quiz, go down to individual questions you really like and click add. Okay, so obviously you can find ready-made quizzes, which you can make duplicate copies of or edit, but if you want to start even down to the question level, this is a huge time saver. You can go and do that teleport feature right down to the question level. So very, very quickly and easily you can start to create. Can you mix question types? Yeah, you certainly can. All the quizzes that I was looking for happen to be multiple choice, but I can hit new question and do ones that I want here. I haven't actually tried the fill in the blank or a polling question or the checkbox ones or the open-ended ones, but that's certainly a possibility. It's pretty straightforward. So I'm just going to hit finish quiz here. I can give it a name, English. I can put some grades if I want to. Oh, it's going to force me. I'll say professional development. I'm not going to make this public and visible to anyone. I'm just going to keep it private. Because if I make it public, it's now for a quiz I've created, it's now going into that big bank. So then once I create it, I can share it, but it's going to be located in my Quizizz area. Does that make sense? Can you import questions from somewhere else? Not that I'm aware of, Amber. And I also don't know how to convert Kahoots to Quizizz, but let me look into that after the session's done. I haven't seen any import features from other places outside of Quizizz. If anybody knows the answer to that and has a different answer, feel free to share it, because I don't know. But what I want to show you now, so here's what we've done so far. We've found out a way to sign into Kahoot or sign up with our Google account. We have gone in, we have figured out how to find ready-made quizzes, either keep them whole, play them, or we have figured out a way to hit the edit button in a quiz to make it our own. We'll make our own duplicate copy. We can change things. Now we've also then seen this My Quizzes area where we can do things with those quizzes. So I'm just going to click on that here, all my quizzes that I have so far. I'm just going to open up one. Now there's another feature that I want to show you. Play live is fine, but what I really like about this are the homework games and the practice games. This is where the magic is going to happen for the student learning, I believe. Fun, learning, okay? And I'm going to assign this for homework. So when I hit it, assign for homework, I don't have to involve my Google Classroom or any of my other LMSs if I don't want to, okay? We're going to look at that piece in a little bit to add audio for the students who have difficulty reading. There's even a better feature. There is a text-to-speech feature in these Quizizz questions already. So that is awesome. Great question, Amber. So before I host this homework game for students, look down at some of the settings here. Before I assign it, there are some different options you have in these advanced settings, okay? How many attempts does a student get? Well, it's just practice, so I'm going to make it unlimited, but you can change that. Do you want them to see the correct answers after the game if they got them wrong? There are these things called power-ups. I want to turn off the timer for each question. I don't particularly like that one. Let students go at the pace they need to. Leaderboard, I'm going to turn that off for the homework game. I don't really care about that. You guys choose, okay? Everybody's different. Shuffling the questions, shuffling the answer options, playing music. Remember those redemption questions? If they got it wrong, they might be able to reattempt. So those are some of the features you can now control at a granular level for each homework assignment. Now I'm going to hit host game. And it's just going to give this, I can either just go to join my quiz and do it that way, or I can hit this link button and it's copied it. So if I have whatever LMS I want, I can just go ahead and I can copy and paste that link in there. Now this is a link to my homework game. But if I want to use, see the Google Classroom symbol there? I can just go straight to Google Classroom or other LMSs. But if I use Google Classroom, it will invite me to connect to Google Classroom. Oh man, let me choose a different Google account. I don't have any Google Classrooms in this particular account, but let me just do a quick example from a different account I have. Sorry, everybody. So I have this one. I want to assign homework, post game. I can click that Google Classroom. Now what it's going to do, it's going to open up my Google Classrooms and say, which one do I want to connect it to? And you can pick that one and go through. It'll assign it right through. There is an app for it as well, says Ken Hackstall. You were right. So on student devices, it looks like there is an app for that. I wonder if that's just for students to play. I wonder if they can play in their web browser. I believe they can. But if they want the app, maybe there are some additional features in there for them, or it just makes it a little bit easier for them. So it's very easy to assign that. It's going to be posted on the Google Classroom now, okay? So certainly that homework game is great. And then basically what you can do after these homework games are completed, you can go into these reports and you can see how different people played this game and how they did, okay? And that is a handy feature. I'm not familiar with the parent connection feature too much, but there is that option in there if you wanted to set that up with parent emails, such that parents could be emailed. You can print these results. And you know what? Let's see the player summary, all players report. So you may not want to print it to paper, but it's basically going to give you an option now on all of your computers, whatever you have, Windows, Mac, Chromebook, you can, if you want to kind of archive these results, for any printer option, if you don't want it on paper, just choose a PDF option. So if you're on a Windows printer, a Windows machine, it might say Microsoft Print to PDF. Apple Mac computers will have an option to save as PDF. I'm in a Chrome browser, it gives me option to save as PDF. So I can save that just for my own digital records as well. Oh, that is a good question, Tanya. I don't think that's going to work for the reuse post because they would have to have their own Google Class. They would have to have their own Quizizz account where they've pulled in Google Classroom. So that's a very good question. So that is the homework game, okay? There is another feature that I really, really, really like, and that is the practice game. You can share the quizzes, yes, with students. Is that what you meant? You can share the quizzes, but are you talking about sharing these quizzes with other colleagues, with other teachers? I don't see a, let's see, when I go to the classes section, I'm not seeing the ability to add in other teachers. I can see, however, if it is public or you have your own quiz, let's say I want to share my own quiz. Let's see what my options are. So when I go up here, here's my sample quiz. I can hit the share button. Oh, look at that, share test with an instructor. So now I can just type in their email address. And look at this, it'll even know which other teachers possibly in your school division, and you can hit the share button. But certainly copying that URL and emailing it to the teachers will give that same functionality. They just need an account and off they go. It does sound like it. You can even copy a link. So there are ways to share them across other teachers. Or you can add them to the big bank for the world at large to share. You've got several options. All right, I'm going to go into my Quizizz here, and let me go back to this other account. Just going to go into my Quizizz because I really want you to see this practice mode. Here's that sample trivia game with the 6 questions that we tried. All right, we've looked at the play live. We've looked at the assigned homework. We've looked at how to create a new quiz right now. But what we haven't done yet is we haven't looked at the practice mode. There are 2 practice modes we can go to. And there's also a classes piece that we're going to look at before the session's done, okay? Practice mode is my favorite because this isn't necessarily about formative assessment anymore, even though it is nice for you to see those reports. This is about the students being able to just use that practice to really deepen that learning and deepen that comprehension, okay? So I'm gonna hit practice. We could try a practice game just to show you what it looks, so I show what it looks like. All right, thanks Joyce. Thanks for coming. Share a practice link will give you that option to then copy that practice link. But just let's go into this practice and see what it looks like. I'm going to hit play. And here's what the practice mode looks like. So now I've clicked this as a student, okay, and I can play. I can make some things. See this read aloud? Who was asking about read aloud? Do you need that read aloud feature on? Boom. Yes, it is easy to insert pictures, I believe. We can try that before the session's done. So you want that read aloud feature available, you can turn that on. In fact, why don't I turn that on and let's see what that looks like. Power-ups, memes, various things. This is the user now. This is not the teacher setting this up anymore. This is the user getting practice. Good question about the read aloud for homework. Let's find out right after this. So I'm gonna hit play. This is what it looks like for me. It's just myself now. You like that piece? Turn it off if you want. So, oh, darn it. So I can continue on. I could turn that off. I don't know if I love this piece, but it is certainly an option, so I can go through and I can practice that way, okay? Now, I'm gonna go back. Here was my practice game. Now, instead of practicing it as a game, you have another mode here, flashcards. I love this. So let's check this out, what that looks like. Now it's basically brought in these questions, these same questions as flashcards. And I can, here's the front side, and if I click it, it flips it to the back. Okay, see that? So the key with flashcards that you can teach your students, if you really want them to actually learn something from these flashcards, is they have to try to dig into their mind and pull out that information before they flip the card. Have them try. You've got to make an attempt. If you're just looking at the front and flipping to the back and looking and saying, okay, if you're just kind of reading it and you're not challenging yourself to try to pull it out, it's not going to. Yes, the kids choose when you do the practice game, the kids can choose whether it's flashcards or whether it's the quiz game. Now watch as the student flips it, they can tell themselves, you know what, that one needs review. It's going to go back into the deck for me, okay? Do I, what character was a Jedi, a soldier, and a pilot? Well, that was Luke Skywalker. Everybody knows that, right? Okay, I got it. So now I am, you can see now I'm at 50-50 here, and I need review on one particular one. I'm self-guiding, and I'm saying I've got the other one. So they can keep going through these, and I can keep going, which ones I need review in, which ones. So now I'm done that I can review it again. I can review my incorrect answers, or I can go home. And so now that's a student, and I can see all these games that I have done. But now as a teacher, I can go into the reports and I can say, okay, who has done this particular game, this practice game, and how have they done? What it'll do for students who have gone in that practice mode, it will show them what they got on their previous attempts as well. These are good questions about being able to upload entire quizzes as a as a text file or as a spreadsheet? And I'm honestly not sure. So why don't we go into create a new quiz and let's find out if there are any import options. So let's see, I'm not, import from a spreadsheet. Look at that. So if I click import from a spreadsheet, it will give you a template that you can download, okay? And let's see what that looks like. I'm gonna open this spreadsheet file. This is an Excel spreadsheet. Sorry, guys. Let's see, let's just open this up so you can see what it looks like in Excel. So now it does look like you can copy and paste. It shows you this feature here. The question, option 1, 2, 3, 4, correct answer, even links to images. Fill it all in, and then once you save it on your computer, now you drag and drop it to upload. All right, so that is how you do that. Someone asked the question, so go to Quizizz.com for practice after they join a quiz. Are you wanting to know how to do the practice game? Or share the practice game? So I can go find a quiz, or I can go to my own quizzes, however I want. Let's just start right from scratch. I want to just find a quiz and have kids practice it. I don't want to even create anything. I don't want it to be my own. I just want to get going with this right away. So I'm going to look for types of trees. Let's see. All right, types of ecosystem, types of fossils, types of trees. Okay, let's go into trees. So I like this one. Let's say it works very well for my grade 6 science. Now I'm going to go to practice, and I can go share a practice link. Once I am ready, I can hit copy that link, and I can go into my Google Classroom and share it as a practice link. I can demo that for you if you want. If you want, you can go into Google Classroom here. Oh, interesting. It is just opening up Google Classroom blankly for you. That is interesting. So if you don't want to import your Google Classrooms and you just want to take that practice link, remember I copied it. Now I'm just basically going to go into my Google Classroom here. Whoops. Let me share that screen again. Sorry, everybody. Going into my Google Classroom. I've copied that link already, right? So I'm going to go into the Google Classroom I want to share it in. And I'm going to go into my classwork. And I'm going to create. I don't know if I would make this an assignment. I would probably just make it a material. And I would call it Trees Practice Quiz. Now, what would we add it as? Any guesses? We're going to add it as a link. And we're just going to paste that link in there. Does that make sense so far? Slurping it in from Quizizz. Look at that. It gives a nice little Quizizz thing. At whatever point I can hit post, or I can schedule it to show up on the Google Classroom at a time that I want. I'm going to hit post. And now basically the students are going to go in here and they're going to click on that, and it's going to take them to Quizizz.com to that practice game. And if they aren't signed in, they'll be invited to sign in with their Google account, and then they can play. And then once they do, the teacher will be able to go into the teacher's quizzes and hit the reports and see how students did. They can sign in with their Google account. Yeah, they don't need to create an account, which is nice. Now, why don't we take a bit of time and look at how to create a class or connect your Google Classroom, because we haven't really talked about that yet. Right now, we're in a non-committal relationship with Quizizz.com here. I don't know if I want to slurp in all my Google Classrooms yet. I just want to find stuff and just share it. Because they give you links, you can just copy that link and insert it into a website. You can share it through Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, E2L Brightspace, anything, Remind, whatever. Whatever works for you. Now, if you do want to create a class, okay, we can go to this classes section here. Let me go to, sorry, I'm going to go to this account that I don't have any classes set up. I'm going to go to classes. This is what you're going to see the first time. I'm going to zoom in a bit. This is what you're going to see the very first time. You got two options. One is to connect Google Classroom, and one is to just create a separate kind of a class entity here within Quizizz.com. So if I go connect Google Classroom, it will ask me for which is my academic account. And then at that point, it will say, which Google Classrooms do you want to bring in? And I can indicate at that point in time which one I want to bring in. Now, let's just say for whatever reason, you did not want to connect to your Google Classroom. You just want to do this as a standalone thing. You can create a class, I'll call it Moss Grade 6. See this option here? Require students to enter a guardian's email address. And then that way parents would, when this link is shared with your parents, the parents can get reports on these kind of things. So that's not a bad option, actually. I'm not sure, one thing I'm a bit confused about myself is if I do the Google Classroom piece, how are the parents going to get a report? That part I've yet to figure out. So it's, there are some pros and cons to doing a standalone class here. I could create a class. And then how that works is when you just create your own standalone class, you get this link piece. Now, anybody who clicks that link can now be joined into this separate classroom entity on Quizizz.com, okay? And remember, I had kept that part checkmarked that, yeah, I want the parents to have their email in there so that they can get those reports on how the child is doing. That's if you want to do that. So you just copy that link, share that link any way you want through Google Classroom or Remind, or maybe it's an email, you have a parent email list. Say, hey, everybody, click this. We're going to be using this. This is why we're going to be using this tool, do some practice. You can sign up and get some reports for how your child is doing. I'm going to click away from that and just go back into classes. And instead, I want to, let's see how that connect Google Classroom thing works. Okay, so here's how that piece works if you do want to connect it to your Google Classroom. Bear with me 1 second, everybody. Let's watch the person typing on the screen make a whole bunch of typos. Sorry, guys. All right. Oh, seriously? I am so embarrassed. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Anyways, I'll show you what this looks like. Google Classroom will, when you do make that connection, it's going to show you, what a technological fail that was. Sorry about that. I can pick which Google Classrooms I want to bring into this environment and which ones I do not. So once I do that, I can, this is my brand new one. Oh, why don't I do my Mr. Moss? I just created that Google Classroom. I hit save, and now that roster is here, okay? And it looks like I can, after I bring in a classroom, let's say I have that Google Classroom. I can now, there's my list of students that's brought in from that Google Classroom. And yeah, so now as when I have quizzes and I want to assign a homework quiz, assign homework, or assign practice, I can now, that I have a class, instead of just blankly assigning it, I can click on select. Thanks a lot, Shannon. I can select which Google Classroom I want to assign it to. And here's that brand new Google Classroom. that I just brought in. I can hit next, and it will give me an option to assign that game. When is it due? Do I want a due date? Okay, maybe I do. I'll hit assign. All right, it's been assigned to Google Classroom. And let's just go see what it looks like in there. So now in my Google Classroom, I'm going in here, and here it is, Monday Fun Day. All right, here is that classwork section, and here is the homework piece that I just assigned, that homework game. So this is the mobile link and web link. I honestly don't know what the difference is. I think if they're playing on a mobile device, they can click that one. If they're playing on the web, they click that one. So the student then clicks on that, they do their practice game, and now the teacher's getting the results. And depending on how you set it up, the kid signs in with their Google Classroom account, and away they go. So that is the nuts and bolts of Quizizz.com. In terms of what we've looked at today, is we've gone to Quizizz.com, we figured out how to sign up. We have gone in and looked at how to find quizzes, thousands of free quizzes, which we can either add to our own collections. See the little collections thing down there? You can add to your own collections of things that other people have made. Or you can, once you've got something saved, or once you look at a quiz, you can now hit the edit button. It's a little pencil icon to then change that quiz, delete some questions, add some questions. We looked at how to create a quiz. Remember the teleport feature? That was super awesome. Then we looked at, in terms of playing it, do you want to play that game live with students? You saw how that looked. Do you want to assign it as a homework game? Or do you want to assign it as a practice? Personally, I really love the practice mode. It gives that option of playing it in a game format or flashcard format. And if you're going to do that and have kids use these flashcards, really try to emphasize with them to really try to dig into their minds and use that retrieval practice to try to recall first, even if they've just learned it. You know, they're still, when they dig into their minds and try to recall something, they're connecting to all their background knowledge. Even if it's new content, there's nothing wrong with that. If you've taught it before, of course, they're digging in their minds as where is it in there? And they're pulling out that understanding, that comprehension, that information, or that skill that they have worked on. And so I love the practice mode as well. And then we looked at classes. We also briefly touched on the reports feature in there, where you can take a look at different quizzes that you have assigned as homework or practice games, or even have done live, and you can go in there and see how students did down to the individual level. And we even figured out, I hadn't even known before this session, how to create to upload and import using that spreadsheet feature. I'm not sure I would do it that way, but you could certainly do that, okay? So that is the nuts and bolts of Quizizz.com. As you can see, I don't know everything there is to know about Quizizz.com, but there are a lot of features we did look at that make a lot of sense and that make this a really easy and fun tool to use with students to really reinforce that learning, whether it's a live game, a homework game, or a practice game. So I'll stick around for anybody else who would like to. Thanks a lot, everybody. You're all very kind. I'm going to hit stop.